One of the most powerful ways to develop sustained trust with prospects is to bring value to the relationship through various types of expertise. To emphasize how important expertise-based trust is in a relationship, consider the old saying, "The proof of the pudding is in the eating," commonly known as "the proof is in the pudding." Either way, you don't know how valuable someone is until you see them in action. This is true in interviews, as reading a resume is not as valuable as seeing a job candidate in action when under pressure. And the same certainly applies when meeting with prospects. Let's discuss the 8 expertise-based trust builders. Walking into a meeting with strong market and customer knowledge does 2 things. It shows that you do your homework and therefore respect your prospect's time. And it helps you stay relevant with the immediate needs of your target audience. Markets will vary based on many reasons, most commonly geographical regions and the customer base served by your prospect. Now this may sound obvious, but trust me, it's worth saying. Your prospect in Florida is not going to experience the same challenges as your prospect in North Dakota. If you don't know the specific market needs of your prospect, you're going to have a difficult time designing relevant questions that will help you bring value to your meeting and also help reveal the problems that your prospects are experiencing. To gain market knowledge, look for industry information that is specific to the market, including local regulatory bodies and seasonal changes. When it comes to customer knowledge, if you don't research your customer before your meeting, you're going to frustrate your prospect by asking questions that you really should already know the answer to. Before you meet with a prospect, you should have 5 to 10 questions that you research to help you get an understanding of the prospect's target audience, their mission and core values, the leadership team, and core competencies. Also look for connections to solutions that you provide. Industry knowledge helps you bring value and purpose to the meeting, making your prospect want to spend time with you. To gain industry knowledge, you must fully immerse yourself in the industry. Read industry publications and blogs, attend conferences, and most importantly, seek out industry experts and ask questions about common challenges, seasonal cycles, and typical customer personas. Leave no stone unturned, as the more you know about the industry, the more of an asset you will be to your prospect. In fact, while average salespeople are trying to hunt down their current clients, top sales professionals regularly receive calls from clients with questions about their industry because they're knowledgeable and trusted by those prospects. Knowing your company inside and out is critical for most buyers. Some buyers prefer bottom line, straight to the point dialogue and expect you to have any information about your company's policies and procedures readily available. Some buyers are more concerned with the essence of a potential partner, and your company's story can make or break the relationship. Regardless of the buyer type, to build trust, be sure to know your company's corporate structure, the policies and procedures, and know the roots of how your company started, along with the why it's the company that it has become. Product knowledge is a minimum expectation for most buyers, and a quick way to lose trust if you don't have it. Be sure to stay ahead of your customers by fully knowing and understanding your solution. A great way to do this is to reach across the aisles and get to know team members in research and development and even operations. Having strong connections in various departments within your company is a great way to gain detailed knowledge of the solution you sell, and also can be useful when you need to call a friend for help if you don't have the answers to questions from a prospect. The ABCs of sales certainly apply to your relationships inside your company as well. Of course, you know the ABCs of sales, right? Always bring chocolate. Knowing the price of your solution is important. However, just like you don't spray and pray the features of your product, pricing is not something that you'll just spit out whenever. It's best to know the complete price range. However, it's important that you utilize that information strategically throughout your sales meetings. For example, most negotiation experts recommend avoiding being the first to share a price or the amount that you're willing to pay until you have more detailed information on your counterpart's needs, both her logical and emotional needs. How your company services customers after the sale creates a variable from just price that can give you an advantage over your competition. Knowing what the customer can expect after the sale is critical for your long-term relationships with clients. If you promise a certain level of service with your solution, it's critical that you and your company can deliver on that promise. Expertise in this category goes beyond just your knowledge of company standards and extends to the relationships you build with your service team within your company. Top sales professionals make it a point to get to know their operations and service team members, which adds value to their relationships with customers. When it comes to building trust, knowing who your competitors are shows your prospect that you do your homework and that your conviction towards your solution is valid. Explaining your solution is the best option for your buyer without intimately knowing your competition is like when a child says that their dad is the strongest man in the world. We're going through that last section, right? Okay.
Hey Dad, I made over 100 prospect calls today.
That's good.
And I got 4 appointments.
Wow, okay, really nice.
That suit makes you look so strong.
You think so, really?
Yeah, it's like you're the strongest man in the world.
Oh, thanks, honey. I've been really trying to exercise some more.
Can I use the car tonight?
Of course.
Works every time.
Knowing your competition will also give you an advantage in negotiating. While it's important to not talk down about your competitors, and ideally not talk about them at all, in a situation where a prospect is openly comparing you against a competitor, knowing their strengths and weaknesses helps you position your solution's strengths and weaknesses against your competitors. In many cases, you can do this without ever even mentioning names. And also remember, it's very possible that your biggest competitor in a sale is your prospect not making any change at all. We've all heard it many times. Technology is changing faster than any of us can keep up with it. That means it may be okay to be a few months or maybe even a year behind technology trends. But it also means that it's not okay to be 5 years behind the times. Knowing how to maximize technology shows your prospect that you're passionate about what you do and that you're always looking for ways to improve and make their job easier. That goes for using the latest and greatest communication tools and social platform tools as well. As a sales professional, you have the opportunity to interact with a lot of people, which means you also have the opportunity to build trust with a lot of people. In fact, that's one of the many great reasons to get into a sales career. We've discussed the importance of building trust quickly, like in the first 60 seconds quick, and that we need to build sustainable trust that will help us maintain the productive relationships that we started building. This final sustainable building block is one of the easiest to talk about, but with no doubt one of the hardest to deliver on: genuine trust. Because it's difficult, very few sales professionals can actually deliver here, which means that those of us that do rise to the top faster than most. So how do you build genuine trust? It starts with being honest with yourself. Then it extends to having the integrity to be honest with others as well, even at times when it's unlikely anyone will know any different. It also means exceeding on your promises no matter how challenging it may be. And finally, you build trust by having a relationship-first, long-term vision of everything that you do. Now here's the hard part. We mentioned earlier that trust takes years to build, but only seconds to break. That means you have to be consistent in all your trust-building actions so that your prospects and coworkers and your family and friends know that they can always depend on you. We've covered a lot of important material in this session, so take some time to reflect and journal on how you will start building trust with your prospects. Afterwards, get back on that saddle and ride over to the next session. I'll see you there.